Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. So on this video, man, I want to talk to you guys about how do you know if radiology or any career is the right choice for you. But first off, man, I want to say thank you guys to all my new subscribers. Thank you for my returning subscribers. Thank you for helping my channel grow. And the last couple of months, man, my channel's been growing. Not crazy, but it's still been going steadily. Like every day I get like 2-3 new subscribers. And that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing to all of you guys because without you guys, us content creators are nothing. And I know, man, my videos aren't flashy. They're not like all like high tech and all this, man. But when I come on here and I talk, I give you facts. I don't beat around the bush. I don't sugarcoat anything, man. I tell you, I guess what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? That's why you keep coming back. And I just want to thank you guys for that. And thank you guys for all the motivational, comments like, hey man, you're helping me make a good decision, or hey man, without your videos, I wouldn't like pursue radiology. And that means a lot to me, to be honest, man, because for one thing, like in this generation, man, it's hard to reach people. It's hard for people to accept help, because, we're growing to be independent. We're growing to be like, no, I don't need nobody's help. I can do it on my own. Like the whole, helping and reaching out for help is different now. It's just different, people are just starting to do things on their own. But YouTube is such a powerful platform. YouTube is something that everybody can go on there and learn something new. And if they're like, for instance, y'all want to learn about radiology, y'all come and my video pops up and you're like, oh, let me listen to this dude and see what he has to say. And everybody's different, man. There's a lot of awesome channels out there, man, and a lot of awesome channels that I can't compete with, but at the end of the day, man, I just make content that I feel like you guys need to know, because I feel like a lot of radiology channels are out there only teaching you like radiology physics and this and that, and it's fine. I'm not good at that stuff, so I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna sit there and be like, I'm gonna teach you radiology physics, because I don't know that. I'm not good at that. I barely passed school. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit there and be like, oh, Juan Motivate is going to teach you, how to do a CT scan because he knows the Heinz field units. And no, bro, that's not me. I'm not the guy for that. But I will give you the ins and outs. Is it right for you? Is it not right for you? I'm going to tell you how it is in the real world of radiology, not the technical components. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, man, so how do you know if radiology or any career is good for you? And I'm going to be honest with you, man. You don't know, man, because, for instance, man, when I picked radiology, right, I've always lived in a small town in Florida and, represent, but I've always lived in a small town in Florida, man. And since I was a teen, I always had a job. Since I was 15, I first got my job working at Winn-Dixie. And it was like, for all y'all people that know what Winn-Dixie is, it's a grocery store. It's a grocery supermarket. And I started there at 15 years old making $4.75 an hour. And it was cool because I was a kid, I was in high school, whatever. And, my mom's thing was always like, oh, I want you to go to the army. I want you to, enlist in the army and do that because all your brothers and uncles that did that. And I always knew in my heart, like, look, mom, that's not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not what I want to do. I respect our soldiers. I respect armed forces. And every time that, I'm going to respect them, hands down 100%. But that's not what I wanted to do, and I always knew that, But so I started at a grocery store, and then from there to I probably was 27 is when I finally decided to do radiology. But man, I've done everything in a book that you can think of before I chose my career. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, man, because there's so many options out there. There's so many things to do. So as I said, I started a grocery store, pushing carts, whatever. I went to another grocery store doing the same thing because that's all I knew. Then I went to like, when they had like Blockbuster, things like that. I had movie gallery I worked at. And then I went to your fast food places. And I finally decided to get like a real job, as they say. I believe it was when I turned like 24, right? 24? Yeah, man, when I turned 24, I decided to go become a correction officer, right? So I convinced me and my best friend to be like, hey man, let's go to correction officer school, it's only 3 months and we get paid $13. We're like, hey man, we're gonna be rolling in dough. That's what we're thinking back then, you know what I'm saying? $13 to us, growing up in the hood was a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? And I finally convinced them to go with me, right? So I did corrections for a little bit. Hands down, something that I could never do as a career, man. They make really, really good money. Don't get me wrong. I know correction officers, my friends now that make over 160K a year, because overtime is whatever you want, man. Just like in the medical field right now, overtime is what you want, for real, honestly. But correction officer is something that I don't recommend. It's hard, man. That's a hard job. If y'all want to get into details, leave me in the comments. Let me know if you want to go into details as a correction officer, because I've been there, I've done that, and yeah, it's not for everybody. Anyway, man, so from there, it didn't work out. I went to school because you had to go to academy. So you had to work 6 months, go to academy, whatever, and I didn't pass. And I was like, freak. And my friend continued. He went and he continued to do great. So it wasn't for me, right? So then I was like, okay. I turned 25, I believe. So then I went to here in my small town, there's a sugar mill, $1 billion corporation, big money. And I finally got a job there, and it was like a temporary laborer, right? So I worked every shift, man, like, 8 to 4, 4 to midnight, midnight to 8 in the morning, all the shifts. I was making like $600 a week. I was like, hell yeah, boy, my boy making money, rolling in dough, whatever, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I was working there probably for like, let's say 6 months. And then I was like, hey, they call me in the office. They're like, hey, you were temporary labor. We're gonna let you go. We're like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I came to work every day. I was never late. I had to, if they wanted me to stay late, I stayed late. So it's just, when things aren't meant to be, man, they're just not meant to be, right? And God always has a different path, a different journey for you, So it's hard you can be upset at the moment, but in the end of the day, you kind of understand your journey. You kind of like, okay, God put me in this situation for this, whatever, right? So anyway, I was like, you know what? That's when they used to sell newspapers a lot. I don't think they sell newspapers as much now. I was like, I'm gonna go to the convenience store. I'm gonna give me a newspaper, and whatever school I find, I don't care what it's at, I'm gonna call it and I'm gonna go do something, So honestly, man, I feel like I bought the newspaper, opened it to the back, because that's where the schools were. I felt like I closed my eyes and I just pointed at it, like, boom, this is where I'm gonna go. And I ended up calling. It was a private school. And I ended up calling, and I was like, yeah, I'm interested in radiology, blah, blah. Like, okay, come in and do this, whatever. So I had to go in, and I had a test. Anybody was accepted. It's a private school. Anybody. That's the thing about private schools, man. Dude, I'm not smart, bro. I'm not as smart, but I'm determined. And if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. That's just who I am. But I'm not smart like that, But anyway, I went. They're like, oh, you gotta take a test to see if you make it into the radiology program. So I took a test. And I didn't make it. They were like, hey, you can start ultrasound. And I knew in my heart, man, I was like, oh, I don't want to do ultrasound, man. It just looks it looks so like complicated, man, to be an ultrasound tech. Like, who wants to be an ultrasound tech? Like, that's hard. But anyway, I was like, you know what, man, I'm so-and-so age, I'm 27. I need to do something with my life, and I need this challenge. So I accepted it. I went to, I signed up for ultrasound school. And the school back then was like, for a private school, it was like I think I paid $25,000. And so I went to it for the first semester. I did all the physics, because I went in there with no education at all. I didn't have nothing besides my high school diploma. So I had to do like college algebra through them, medical terminology, speech. So I had to do all that stuff, and then I had to do ultrasound physics. And I passed or whatever. So the very first day, man, of ultrasound scanning, I was like, oh, hell no, this is definitely not for me. Because of the fact that you sit there and I was scanning, I was like, teacher, I don't see anything. How do you do this? Like, I don't see nothing. Oh, it takes time, blah, blah. But from that point on, from the very first day I started scanning, I knew that it wasn't for me. So I went to the office, I went to the dean, and I'm like, look, guys, I like this school, I want to stay. I was like, but I cannot do ultrasound. I cannot do it because it's just not for me. I don't feel it. It's not exciting to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I want to do. I originally want to do radiology, but I guess I didn't pass. So I was like, can you please switch me to radiology? So like, you know what? Let me see what I can do. Blah blah. Go back to class. This and that. So I went back to class, and continued trying to find whatever they wanted me to find: a kidney, a liver, I don't know, pancreas. I couldn't see anything. But later on in the afternoon, they called me to the office. They're like, hey, Mr. Hernandez, come to the office, blah, blah. So I went there like, hey, okay, so you're going to switch to radiology. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I was like, thank you, Lord. I finally got what I wanted. And this was like in July. And usually semester starts like in, January, just like regular semester. And I was like, okay, so I start in January. Do I have to she's like, no, you start tomorrow. I was like, I start tomorrow. You know how crazy that is? Like going for ultrasound, learning ultrasound stuff. Then so this is the reason, because it was a private school. So it was a first year radiology private school. And I think it was a new private school. So they're kind of like, they didn't have all their ducks in a row. So like, yeah, man, go ahead and jump into radiology. Meanwhile, radiology had already started clinicals. They already started, how to position. And I was totally lost. But I managed, right? I went, I did what I had to do. And that's how my radiology career started. But you, like I said, you don't know what you want to do, and you don't know if it's going to be the right fit for you until you start. So there's no way to honestly know if something that's going to be for you or not. You just got to do it. And this is the thing, man, is like, you go to school, you get a career, you make money. Once you start making money, and if that's not your passion is, I don't know, opening up a store, or your passion is to become a YouTube creator, and you don't have the money to buy a computer, the money you make from your career, that's your fund to start what you really want to do. So even though you go to school and you don't know if it's for you or not, it's your stepping stone. You have to do something to make money. Because working at McDonald's, working at Walmart, if you're a regular employee without being a manager, you're not going to make the kind of money to fund what you really want to do. If you're a music artist and you want to fund like studio time, this and that, make a music video, the money you make at Walmart or McDonald's entry level is probably just enough to get by and pay bills, or even pay all your bills, to be honest. So you have to have a good career, good solid foundation, that you make a good amount of money to fund what you really want to do. But honestly, man, you don't know if a career is for you unless you start something. Unless you start it doesn't matter what it is. You have to have a little interest in it though. So in medical field, you have to want to help people. You have to want to I can say you're gonna like blood and gruesome stuff, but that kind of stuff has to excite you. Because at the end of the day, man, that's what you're gonna see on a daily basis. Blood, guts, gunshot wounds, stab wounds. You're gonna see all that craziness, man. You see all that. You're gonna wanna be a team player, because your radiology team depends on you. If you're there late, that means that they have to stay there late. If you're taking breaks every 5-10 minutes, you know what I'm saying, that they're gonna get on you. Basically, you have to be a team-oriented individual to be in the radiology field, man, because you're very, very highly dependent on. But at the end of the day, man, you honestly don't know what you want to do until you take that shot. You have to have a little bit of interest in it. You have to have motivation, dedication, and knowing that you can do it. You had to manifest that if I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna be good at what I do. I've been in the medical field, radiology field, and for 10 years, but over 10 years, like 12 years. And was it the best decision for me? I don't say that it's the best decision, but I don't regret my decision, because what I'm doing now is funding what I really want to do in the future. So that's the cool thing though about the medical field, is that you're not set till Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then you only have weekends off, which is great. Don't get me wrong, if that's what you want to do. But say you want to go to school to do something else, 90% of the time, like if you're a professional and something else, you can't work, for instance, I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 12-hour shift, day shift, 7 to 7:30, and I'm off Monday through Thursday. So if I want to do something else Monday through Thursday, like go to school, start a business, I have all that free time, to do that, But when you work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, by the time you get home, you really don't have much time left. And then on weekends, like what programs are really open on weekends for you to like do venture on something else? It's tough, It's tough, honestly. But anyway, guys, I hope this video helps you a little bit, As always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the love and support. I really, really appreciate it. And to the next one.